hi there. Sorry, just reading my Star Trek The Visual Dictionary, trying to find something about the Discovery, but there's nothing in here. It's almost like they made it up. Useless. Now, before I get into this sort of review, I just want to give a big shout out to the Space Channel for starting late. You said you were going to start at 8:30 and it started at like 8:50. You made me miss it. You made me like put my PVR on the wrong time and it was just awful. And I had to sit there listening to these two nerds talk about whatever. It was just awful. I felt like such a schmuck. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware by now, Star Trek Discovery has hit the airwaves, the radio wave. It's on TV now. Cool. So, this is going to be my kind of, I don't know if it's going to be a review per se, but it's going to be just like my reactions to the 2-episode premiere that we got. First of all, I gotta say, that intro, like the actual song and the cool like artwork is mwah, mwah. I love it. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It feels like they took Enterprise and the original series and smashed them together and we got this really cool intro. So really, right there, you get a point. Now, the actual visuals in this show are beautiful. They're movie quality. It's beautiful stuff to watch. And of course, you're going to get those Star Trek fanboys out there, and I'm one of them. Check this out. I have a Shinzon toy. Why do I have a Shinzon toy? Who has a Shinzon toy? There are going to be those fans out there who complain that it's too advanced. It doesn't look like the original series. And here's my counter to that. Do you want a show that looks like shit, that's made out of like cardboard sets and styrofoam? Or do you want something that's going to make you piss your pants and go, this is awesome? Because that's what we're getting here. And I would much rather have something that's a visual spectacle than just going, it looks like 1968. Yay! Now, the overall plot of this show, if you don't know it, it takes 10 years before Kirk. And I'm kind of unclear on that. Is it 10 years before Kirk's born? Or is it just 10 years before he's captain of the Enterprise? Because if it's that, well, there are other captains that have captained the Enterprise, like Robert April and Christopher Pike. So the Enterprise is still technically around. It's still doing its voyages and whatnot. So maybe we'll actually see it. But it just takes 10 years before that, kind of the original series, let's call it. And it takes place, I don't know, 20 years after Enterprise. So it does fall into this kind of weird category. And honestly, kind of makes me concerned because, like I said in an earlier video, I wish that they just continued on after Nemesis because I feel like there's more for you to go on with creating something new and unexplored, where if you're doing it in this like 10-year gap, well, we already kind of know where things inevitably get to, but hey, it could be really exciting, so we'll have to wait and see. The overall plot of the show is the Klingons are back, and the Federation and the Klingons, they don't get together. They don't like each other. And there's going to be a war. Even though the Federation technically starts it, but don't tell anybody that, because I don't think that was supposed to happen. And the Klingons show up. And they look really weird. They look very different. They look very Shakespearean. Because you have to remember, Klingons love Earth Shakespeare stuff for whatever reason. They're like, we hate the Federation. You guys suck. But Shakespeare's pretty on point. Like, you guys, you nailed that. That's we're gonna read that stuff, but fuck the rest of you. And all the Klingon houses are divided, all 24 of them, and they have to come together under one new guy. And I'm gonna call him TikTok. That's not his name. It's like Tukuvma, but that's just really hard to say a lot. So I'm just gonna call him TikTok. His name's TikTok, and he's very black, and I don't mean that like a racial thing. It's just like, it's like they literally took black paint and just poured it on this guy, and he is like charred black. Now, in terms of the Federation characters, again, being only 2 episodes, we don't get a feel for a lot of the characters. There's really only 3 that we get a handle on. We get Michael Burnham, who, I don't know how to say this. That's a boy's name. That's a guy name. And her background is Sarek, who is Spock's dad, like sort of adopted her. even though they never talk about that literally ever. She's, I guess, technically Spock's like stepsister, and she's human who's adopted by Vulcans. Sarek in particular. And I like to think that Sarek just like found her after the event that basically made her an orphan, didn't know her name, and just went, I'm just gonna call you Michael, because that's like the only Earth name that I know, so you're Michael now, forever. And she's a cool character. I like her. I like that she has that Vulcan logic side kind of down, but she also gets really excited because she is still human, so there's times where she's like, check this shit out. This is going to be the craziest shit you've ever seen. So you do get that kind of yin and yang thing going on with her, and I like it, and I'm excited to see how they explore that more. We get Captain Georgiou. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. I'm just going to call her the Captain. And you don't really get a feel on her because, spoilers, she super dies. If it wasn't crazily obvious that that was going to happen with all the foreshadowing of Burnham going, I have to save you from the Klingons. You know, you're my friend and I don't want you to die. You're going to die because I keep saying that. And you don't really get a good feel for the Captain's actual character. It's alluded to that maybe she's had some stuff go on in the past, but it doesn't really impact her ability to lead. But she kind of seems like she pussyfoots around a lot, like she doesn't want to make the hard calls that might cost lives, which is totally acceptable for a captain. And then we get, probably the poster boy for this whole show, is Lieutenant Saru, or Saru, or Saru, however you want to say it. And basically his character is Niles Crane from Frasier meets Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Smash them together and you got that guy. That's all you need to know. He's kind of a wimp and he can sense the coming of death, which is really dumb. But hey, I'm sure they'll use it. All the other characters, we don't know yet. It's only been 2 episodes. We haven't even seen Jeremy Isaacs' character come into here, Captain, I think it's Lorca. So, we don't know yet. Again, I'll probably do a full review of this show when it's all done. But for right now, it's basically those 3.5, maybe 4 characters that we've got to know thus far. Now, it's not to say that Star Trek Discovery doesn't have its fair share of problems, because there are some weird inconsistencies. For instance, the captain says, oh, we haven't made contact with the Klingons for 100 years. Like, are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure Archer was always, like, pissing off the Klingons, and that was, like, 20 years ago. So, for you to say 100 years, but then somebody else will come in and be like, yeah, it's been, like, 10 years. And then somebody else will be like, it's been, like, a decade or a century. It's like, how long has it been since we've seen the Klingons? Nobody seems to know. It's like they kind of forgot what the Klingons were. Like, we may have seen them, but I kind of forget. And not to mention the uniforms. Now, I actually really like the look of the uniforms in here, except for one little tiny thing. When you look at the original series, everybody is very easy to establish what you do, right? Red is engineering, security, blue is medical science, gold is command, whatever. In this, it's like, it's hard to tell. I know that the little like bands on the shoulders are like slightly different colors, like one's gold, one's silver, but it's kind of hard to see that, so it is a little difficult to know who's what here, and it's only on the badges that they have the little like bips, so it is a little, it's a little tough to understand, like, oh, that's the science guy, because you pretty much have to go, hey, science guy. And there was one thing that I have to mention, and this drives me absolutely crazy in anything. At the end of the second episode, basically, Burnham and the captain have to go onto the Klingon ship to capture TikTok. And they're like, we can't kill him, because if we kill him, he'll be a martyr. And then, what immediately happens? Uh-oh! I accidentally just killed the guy that we said we were gonna kill 5 minutes ago. Damn it! So TikTok dies, and now the Klingons apparently are gonna be united behind him. Whoops! Overall, I would say that this premiere was great. again, visually, it was awesome. The acting was really cool. And the storyline does have me hooked. The end of the second episode does leave a good cliffhanger, and I'm very interested to see what happens when we do get Jeremy Isaac's character into the show and see, Captain Lorca and Burnham kind of get together and see what kind of trouble or what kind of not trouble they can get up to. I'm really hoping that this is the start of a new Star Trek craze. Because I remember when I was a kid in the early 90s, TNG was everywhere. It was on, like, lunch boxes. I had a Star Trek like onesie that I would just wear around. There are toys everywhere. I'm really hoping that we do get this new kind of craze that, there's so much Star Wars shit. Why can't there be a Star Trek aisle at a Toys R Us? I think there used to be, and it didn't do very well. Oh, I think I just answered my own question. So it's going to be interesting to see where this show goes. I'm hoping that we do get more than just the 15 episodes, because again, I want more Trek, the better. Bring it on. Like, just glaze me with it. Glaze it over me. And if you guys saw Star Trek Discovery, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you want going forward with this series. And if you do want more Trek, and just what your thoughts on the premiere was. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the very next episode of Tender Gaming when we do more reviews and more gaming just for you guys. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hey, why don't you go ahead and share this video as well. Okay, so let's set to that. Perfect. If you'll excuse me, I have to go not kill a Klingon. Shh. Man, I'm really hoping that we get a cool Star Trek Green Lantern crossover episode. Because that wouldn't be dumb.